LeetCode Problem number 213, House Robber 2. So this question is very similar to the first house robber question. So if there I explain more about this function here, which calculates the which does the which calculates the maximum amount of money we can rob without robbing adjacent houses, right? Because if you do rob adjacent houses, there will be consequences, basically, right? So this function basically will help us find the maximum amount of money we can rob from a row of houses, right? But now for house robber 2, the houses are now placed in a circle, right? Meaning each house has a left and right. So the first house, the left side of it would be this, right? So that's the only difference. And to compensate that, here in this initial function, okay, initially I have a edge case checking. So if there's only one house, obviously we can only rob that house. Otherwise, we construct a new vector, this time without the start, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm constructing a new vector without a start house, right? So for example, if nums were to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so no start will basically will consist of 2, 3, 4, 5, and no back will consist of 2, 3, and 4, right? So once I have these two, these two, how do you call them? These two houses, I run my robbing function on both of them. So for this case, the maximum amount of, so now we're just treating this as a single row of houses, no, which means that this house, the left neighbor is not this anymore, right? And I'm just treating this as a single line of houses, right? So obviously the highest amount of money we can rob from this is 3 and 5, which will give us 8, and for this it will be 2 and 4, which will give us 6. So what you see here is, since we know we can straight away get 3 and 5, 3, 5, meaning we can't really rob house number 1 anymore because we are already robbing house 5, right? If we do rob house 1, we cannot rob house 5 because house 5 and house 1 are adjacent. Remember that for nums, it is a circle. So that's why we have to break it into 2 arrays, one without the front and one without the back. So once I'm done, I run through the robbing function. So again, in my previous video, house robber 1, I explained how this robbing function works. Basically what it does is it will compare and decide which is the higher number of the two houses we should rob, and basically you stack on top of each other. Then lastly, I run a max function comparing both maximums. So from here we know that for these houses, the maximum amount of money we can rob from it is 8. Right? No, there's no example here, but let's try with this one. So for this one, no start, so 2, 3, 1, and no back, 1, 2, 3. So the highest number will obviously be 2 and 1, which is 3, and for this it will be 1 and 3, which is 4, right? So based on this, we can conclude that we can rob the first house and the third house, but not the fourth house, right? And not anything else, basically. We can't rob 2 and 3 at the same time because they are adjacent to each other. But using this example and this way of breaking the circle houses into two rows of houses, we can find out the maximum amount of money we can rob from these circular houses, right? Just by breaking them into two. Okay, pretty straightforward. Like I repeat again, if you want to know more about how this function works, I explained it in the house robber 1 video. Otherwise, that's all I have to show. Thanks.